Hello and welcome back to the Thriving with Chels podcast. I am so excited to just sit here and yap with my girls today. I was doing a little bit of brainstorming last night. I was like, what do I want to speak about on the podcast tomorrow? And as much as I love speaking about nutrition, weight loss, habits, mindset, all of the things that I speak about 24/7 and all of the things I will mostly speak about on this podcast, I also kind of felt like just having a good old yap with the gals, kind of giving you a bit more of an insight into my life, what's happening behind the scenes. I feel like I'm in a bit of I don't want to say like a weird season, but I've just been having a lot of like reflective thoughts recently. I want you guys, especially who listen to the podcast, to know me on a deeper level than what you see on Instagram, because the reality is my job is a nutrition coach. I own a nutrition coaching business, which means my Instagram needs to be majority nutrition content. It needs to be food content. It needs to be what I eat in a day content. It needs to be content about my journey, which I love creating, but it doesn't always leave me the most space to talk about other things. And just like everyone in the world, I'm very multifaceted and I have a lot of things I'd like to speak about. So I thought today I'd just kind of like chat with you guys about what's happening at the moment. I don't know if this will be super interesting to some of you. I think if you're a client of mine, you're like, what does Chelsea do outside of, coaching and business and all of those things? It might be, or it might just be, I think there's going to be some lessons. As I said, I've been going through a bit of a season. I've been very is introspective the word? I feel like people say introspective. I've been very introspective, reflective, kind of just been contemplating life recently, and I have a lot of thoughts. So I want to kind of just chat with you. Next episode, we'll get back into our nutrition content. I've got a very excited episode planned, but today we're just going to yap. So if you're on a walk, if you're driving to work, if you're at the gym, if you're doing stuff around the house, I hope you enjoy. And if you relate to anything I talk about, if you have any thoughts, if there's anything that you just want to share, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, because I love hearing from you guys. Anytime I get a message about the podcast, it literally makes my whole entire day, because I love doing this and I love that you love it as well. So let's get into it instead of doing another 5 minutes of just intro. The first thing I will address is I am going through a bit of a crisis at the moment because I don't have any nails on. Now, the reason I don't have any nails on is because of my new hobby, which I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on in a second. My new hobby is pottery. And you can't really have long nails when you do pottery. So I've been naked nailed for the last couple of weeks, and I would say I'm pretty self-conscious of my fingers. I have short and stumpy fingers. And I will say, after losing 27 kilos, they're not as stumpy, but they're definitely on the stumpier side. And it's one of those things where most people would be like, what are you even talking about? But because one time when I was younger, somebody said I had chubby hands, it stuck with me for life. And I don't love how my hands look without nails, but I'm going through a break because my new hobby does not allow nails. And then my other update on my hands, which who would have thought I'd have two updates on my hands, is that I am not wearing my engagement ring at the moment. Now, do not stress. Dan and I have not broken up. Do not stress, I did not lose my ring. Imagine if I lost my ring. God, that would be bad. The reason I'm not wearing my ring right now is because it's getting resized. So when Dan proposed to me last year in December, when we were in Bozeman, Montana, United States of America, the ring was a little bit big. As soon as I put it on, I was like, oh, it's a bit big. We'll get it resized. And the thing about me is I will put things off to the last minute. And the place we got, Dan got my ring, they offer you 12 months to resize it. So naturally, I waited 8 months to get it resized. And the reason I did that was, one, because I was like, what's the rush? I've got 12 months. There's no rush. But the second reason was because I knew I was still on my weight loss journey. There was a world where my fingers were going to get a little bit smaller. I didn't want to get it resized and then in a few months it be too big again. So I kind of put it off until I would say as last minute, late as I could. The reason I'm doing it now, getting it resized, is because we need to start shopping for our wedding bands very soon. So they said it's going to take 2 to 3 business weeks to get resized. And I just want to clarify, what the fuck is a business week? Isn't every week a business week? I really thought about this because it really threw me when she said it. I was like, the only week that maybe isn't a business week is that the week between Christmas and New Year's, but it's August. So just say 2 to 3 weeks. But unless there's something out there that I'm not familiar with, 2 to 3 business weeks. It's been almost 2. So hopefully I will have my ring back soon, because without my ring and my nails, I feel like a 5-year-old and I don't love it. So that is my hand update that nobody asked for. Now, I want to talk about my new hobby, because this has actually been maybe the highlight of my life the last few weeks. And I will start this by saying I have quite literally never had a hobby. My whole life growing up, when people would be like, you know, on the first day of school when you would go around and do icebreakers and you'd have to like say your name, say your favorite color, and then say your hobby. I never had a hobby. Like I wasn't into sports. I wasn't super crafty. I didn't play music or sing or dance or anything like that. Like I just never had hobbies. My hobbies have always included doing as little as humanly possible, preferably sitting on the couch, eating something good, watching TV with somebody that I enjoy. That is kind of as far as my hobbies go. I've never been a big hobby girl. Then moving into my adulthood, I was like, well, I don't have time for hobbies because I'm trying to build my business. I'm hustling, I'm working, I don't have time. And although that is still somewhat true, I don't even know if I meant to do. I think I just literally have wanted to like find a hobby my whole life. And then I randomly one day had like a burst of energy of like, I've always wanted to do pottery. Like I'd love to try and make this specific thing. Let me book in a class. And I booked in a class. I asked my bestie, I was like, do you want to do this with me? She was like, yes. I've booked in a workshop with my mum in a couple of weeks. I've been going. I went to a little Friday night wine and clay night. Like I've been in it. And the reason I just was like, now's the time, I think I literally just had a burst of motivation. There wasn't like a breaking point moment, but I am so glad that I have found a hobby outside of what I do for work, because the reality is my job I love, but it's not glamorous. A lot of people think, especially like online nutrition coach, it's like so glamorous and I'm in Bali every week and I'm just living the life and I go to the beach at 3 p.m. and I work 2 hours a day. And although for a lot of people that is true, that is certainly not true for me. I work always. What are my business hours? Always. When am I working? Yes. Like I'm always working, and I'm not necessarily the most proud of that, because I know I could definitely prioritize a little bit more work-life balance. But I also think the reality is when you're trying to grow a business, a level of sacrifice is required. So I have been okay with like working my ass off the last few years, because I am trying to build something for myself that doesn't require me to be so involved forever. Now, I think I've got to a point where I'm like, you know what, Chelsea, you can take 2 hours out of work a week to go to your pottery class. And I'm so glad, because it has been the best thing ever. And the thing that I've loved the most about it is, one, I can't be on my phone while I'm doing it, and I can't be on my laptop, because that is realistically how I spend my whole day. I'm on my phone, I'm on my laptop. I have like a desk job. So I love that I am not on my phone, not my laptop, one, because my hands are covered in clay. So even if my phone is there and I'm getting messages, I put it on Do Not Disturb. To be honest, I live with my phone on Do Not Disturb. It's on Disturb right now. Like it's always on Do Not Disturb. But I usually will have it on Do Not Disturb. But even if I was getting notifications, I've got clay on my hands. I can't check it. And obviously I don't have my laptop with me at my pottery class. So I've loved that it's like a screen-free activity. Like I'm a toddler who needs screen-free time. And then I also love that when I'm doing it, my brain just goes like blank. Just goes so blank and quiet, and it's truly so peaceful, and I am obsessed with it. I cannot get enough of it. I've been going to like 2 classes every single week. I've bought my own supplies. I've been doing it at home, and I'm just obsessed with it. I am currently in the process of making some snack plates, because if you follow me on Instagram, you would see I have a snack plate every single day. Snack plate of the day. I just posted my one for today on my stories. I ate it on my drive over here. Today's snack plate of the day consisted of tasty cheese, craisins, and a Tim Tam. Should I talk more about my snack plates? I'll give you a quick, if anyone's like, wait, what do you mean a snack plate? Every single day for the last few months, I've been having a snack plate. I usually will have this like early afternoon. Sometimes I'll have it early morning, just depends on the day. But my goal for my snack plates generally is some little bit of protein, a little bit of fiber, a little bit of something fun. It's not like a high protein snack plate. Like my snack plate today had 6 grams of protein. Like it's not high protein, but it's like, let me get in a little bit of extra protein. So today it came from the cheese. let me get in some fiber. Today's one was high fiber because my craisins, for 25 grams of craisins, it's 7 grams of fiber. Life hack, get yourself some Ocean Spray reduced sugar craisins. Not sponsored, I just love them. And my Tim Tam, that's my little something fun because it satisfies that sweet tooth. I'm full from the little bit of protein. I'm also full from the little bit of fiber, and it's a well-balanced snack. Anyway, that's kind of like my daily thing. I just eat it off a regular ass little side plate. But I was like, what if I could make my own little snack plate? So that's what I've been trying to make at Pottery. I think I've made 5 so far. I think I've made 5, maybe 6. And the thing with Pottery, and I kind of love this, everyone I've spoken to about this is like, oh, isn't that so annoying? And as somebody who is very impatient, I actually love it. It's a really slow process. What is this episode? Me talking about Pottery? Like, I know this is probably not what you signed up for, but if you're here and you're listening, I love you and thank you. I just needed to talk, I just need to have a chat with the girls. I didn't want to talk about anything too serious, so we're talking about Pottery. What I love about it is it's a slow process. So you make your pottery and then you've got to let it dry. You've got to let it do its thing for like minimum a week. I would say potentially longer. I'm not an expert yet, but I'm going to say minimum a week. And then you put it in the kiln and it gets bisque fired, I believe. And then you take it out of the kiln and then you glaze it and then you've got to put it back in the kiln. So it's like, it's not something that you make and you get the result of tomorrow. It's not something you do today and it's done tomorrow. And I think I like that, like not to make something deeper than it needs to be, but I like that there's not that instant gratification because we really do live in a world where you can click your fingers and have anything. Like you can decide that you want to eat KFC and you can press a button on your phone and KFC is delivered to your door within 20 minutes. You can decide that you want to start posting on social media and you literally can hold up your phone, record a video, post it on social media. That could change your life. You can decide that you want to book a holiday, you do it from your phone. Like everything you can do so instantly now, which is fantastic. But I also love that there's some things in life that you just can't speed up and you can't do it instantly. And I love that Pottery is that. So I'm very excited. I've made like 5 or 6 of them and now I'm waiting for them to dry so they can go into the kiln and I can't wait to see how they turn out. So that is the snack plate situation. That is my new hobby situation. I'm doing a workshop this weekend, a pottery workshop with my mum. I said, hey, I'm doing pottery classes. My mum's a little crafty girl. So I was like, do you want to join me? We're doing a little 2-hour Sunday pottery session. And I just can't wait. Like I really do love it. And I guess this is your sign that if you are someone who's super busy with your work, your career, your business, if you're a mum and you're busy 24/7 with kids, if you're a student, like whatever it is, I think that you will find so much joy in doing something for yourself outside of the thing that takes up most of your time in your life. And it can feel really hard to take time away from, again, whether it's your business, your kids, your studies, whatever it is. But truly, like I have had so much more zest for life the last couple of weeks. Like I'm so excited about it. It's been so nice, especially for me because I work from home. My classes are out of the house. Like I go to a pottery studio and do the classes and I love getting out of my house because even now, like I do 20,000 steps a day, which I will touch on in a moment. That's definitely not something I've always done. But right now I'm doing 20,000 steps a day. I don't have to leave my house to even do 20,000 steps if I don't want to. Like I truly can live my whole life inside my house. Like if I wanted to, I never really would need to leave the house because I work from home. I can do my steps from home. You can order your groceries to your home, like everything you can do from home, which is fantastic. Trust me, I'm so glad I don't have to drive to work in traffic every single day. However, it is nice to leave the house. So I've been loving that. I've been loving getting out of the house. And I really do just think if you're somebody that doesn't really have a hobby at the moment, as somebody who didn't have a hobby for 28 years, would recommend. I kind of understand the hype around hobbies. So that's my hobby. I'm really into it and I'm excited. My dream would be, because somebody asked me this, they're like, oh, is this just like for fun? And yeah, it's for fun. But also at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. That's a hard word to say, entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur at heart and I would love, I don't know if this is going to be an option, but I'm going to manifest it. My dream would be to be able to make these snack plates, not just for myself and my own daily snack plates, but to be able to make them and then like sell them to you guys if you want them. Because I think they're going to be so cute and so fun and like handmade by me. They're all one of a kind. So that's my dream. we'll have to see how we go, but that is the dream because I would love to be able to do more of this. Again, I love not being on my phone. I love not being on my laptop. So if I could do more of that, sign me up. So stay tuned. That's the goal. That's the dream. Hopefully in 12 months' time, I can look back at this and be like, yeah, you did that. You're selling 100 snack plates a month. Imagine that. That would take me so long. It takes me like an hour to hand build one snack plate. And I also love that. I love that it's like a labor of love. Anyway, I could talk about pottery all day. I feel like it's like my crush, Dan and I have been together for 10 years. I haven't had a new crush in 10 years. Obviously, I have a crush on Dan, but it's different when you've been together for 10 years. I feel like pottery is my new crush and I'm obsessed. I'm going to look at my notes because as you can tell, this episode is all over the place, but I did write down some random notes that I wanted to talk about. Okay, the next one is the other day I was having a conversation with a client and she was like, she made a comment and I've had this comment made to me a million times, but for some reason last week it really just like stood out to me. She said to me, she goes, I don't know how you do it all. I don't know how you do everything you do. And I, agree sometimes. I do a lot. My plate is very, very full and I like that. Like I love being busy. I love working hard. I am a hard worker at heart and I love it. But I also think it's really important for people that maybe don't realize this is like I don't do it all. I am at a stage now, especially in my business, where I am able to hire team and they are able to help me with certain things because the reality is there is only so much one person can do. And I did everything for so long. Like every single task in my business was done by me at once. Like I did it all. And for me to continue growing my business, which is the goal, and to do that while also being able to function, I need support. So although, yes, I still do a lot and I still work an incredibly large amount, a lot more than what I think people would probably realize or what people would probably expect for someone who does what I do have a lot of support. I have someone who does a lot of like client communication. So I have my community manager and she is in the Thrive group chat replying to clients. She's supporting clients via email. I have customer support. I have people who help me with my app. I have someone who does my emails. I have someone who runs my meta ads. I have someone who edits my content. Like I have a lot of people who support me and I'm really grateful now to be in a position in my business where I'm able to pay these people to provide these services because again, I've done it all before and you can do it all, but you get to a ceiling. Like again, if I'm trying to do all those tasks, which now I pay, however many people that is, like 6 or so people, I pay them money to do these services for me. Me trying to do all of those plus what I still do day to day, there's only so much I can do. So for me, I kind of realized 18 months ago, but then definitely more so even in the last 6 to 12 months, I realized that if I want to continue to grow my business, I need to invest in support. I need to invest in team and I need to hire people that are better at doing things than I am. Because the reality is I'm a good yapper. I'm great with my clients. I'm great at creating recipes. I'm great at providing support. I'm great at sharing my journey in a way that helps other people. I'm great at creating content. I'm great at a lot of things, but I'm not the best at a lot of things. I don't know how to fucking do meta ads. I don't know how to do emails through a proper email platform. If I ever email my clients, it comes from Gmail. Like my email girl, she makes them all look nice. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to segment people and break them up into different categories, so again, I do a lot and there are a lot of things that I'm really good at, but there's also a lot of things that I'm awful at. So I have people do for me. And I think maturing in my business has looked like being okay with paying people. So although my business has grown and from the outside I might be like, oh my God, Chelsea must be rich. Look at all these clients she has. It's certainly not the case. I would say now I'm less rich, never been rich, but I feel like I have less money now in this season because I put so much money back into my business in the way of paying people, because there's no point me just hoarding this money, but then working literally 24/7 and not being able to get everything done and not growing. I'd much rather pay people who are good at what they do, who are going to help me take the business to the next level or are going to be able to support my clients and give them a better experience. I'd much rather do that and have less money in my account. Like it means it's not doing anything there. I'd rather continue to grow the business. So that's been really cool. And again, I think it's more like of a mature mindset with business. Again, when I started my Instagram account in 2020, it's almost the 5-year anniversary. It's someday in September is like exactly 5 years. It's almost been 5 years. When I started posting on that Instagram account, I had absolutely zero intentions of starting a business. I was like, I'm just going to post and share my journey. Like I did not expect it to be where it is today. So I really have had to learn what it means to run a business and be a business owner, especially a business owner who wants to go to that next level. You know, my business now, even compared to where it was 12 months ago, is completely different. Like my business has grown so much in the last 12 months. Every time we run a challenge, it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're, again, adding new things in, and we're bringing in a new team, and we're doing more. And I've had to really create that mindset because, again, I would say in my heart, I'm an entrepreneur, like I said, but that's come from the last 5 years of building my own business. And I've had to be like, okay, you can't just think like how someone with the 9 to 5 would think about their money. You have to think about your money in a different way, which, again, when you have a business, it's like, yes, you want to have money in your account so you can pay your mortgage and your bills, but I don't want to have right now a crazy amount of savings when I could be spending that on people who are going to help me grow, thrive, and are going to help thrive be bigger over time. And then, you know, I can pay more people, and then I can do less work, and I can really just focus on doing the work I love. Because although, yes, I have people who help me with customer support in terms of like emails and things like that, and app support and back end technology and all that, I have people that support me, but I still do a lot of it. Like every morning I'm replying to emails on my walk-in pad. I'm doing a lot of stuff that, you know, eventually I would love to not be as hands-on with, but that comes from doing what I'm doing now, which is investing in team to grow the business, to be able to continue to do that, because the goal is never to be completely removed from the business. I don't want to have, you know, a nutrition app that I'm not involved in. Like I want to be involved, but I want to be able to be involved in the things that I think I'm the best at, which is the coaching side, which is the content side, and helping my clients directly versus doing like technical admin, customer service. And when I say customer service, I mean like, can you change my email address type of thing? Like the more just admin-y stuff, I would love to not have to do that. So again, that's kind of where I'm at right now. When people say, how do you do it all? Or I don't know how you do everything. I don't. I used to, but I was capped and there was no room for growth. Now I don't do it all. I have people help me, and that's allowed me to continue to grow. So again, I do a lot, but I certainly do not do it all, because that would actually be impossible. The next thing I wanted to talk about, which kind of goes off the back of that, is I've really had to find, I guess, the balance. As you can tell, like I am kind of leaning into a season of a bit more work-life balance with, you know, doing my hobby and having this new break from work, and also investing in team where that gives me a little bit more space where I'm not doing every single thing in my business and I'm not replying to emails at 10 p.m. at night. But I've had to kind of find this balance between, I am somebody who I like to think I live my life and I operate from a place of gratitude. Like the reason I would say I work so hard is because I am so grateful to have the opportunity to. And I've spoken about this before, but like I do not take it for granted that I am born in a country and born in a time where I am able to create a life for myself that, you know, people only, you know, like my parents, my grandparents, like they did not have these opportunities at my age, you know. Yes, now my, you know, parents have more opportunities and things like that, but when they were my age, like the way I'm able to live my life and the business I've been able to build and all of these things, they didn't have. My grandparents certainly didn't have, you know. It wasn't that long ago that women weren't even allowed to have a credit card. So I think, or their own bank account. So I think for me, I am very driven by gratitude and very driven by the idea that like, I don't want to take all of these opportunities for granted, and I want to live my life in a way where it's like, you have all of these opportunities and you are doing something with it. Like I don't want to have all these opportunities and just sit on my ass and do nothing. Like personally to me, that is the opposite of grateful. Like again, even right now in other countries, there are women who do not have any single rights. And I'm not saying that means you have to go start a business, but I just think it means you need to live your life in a way where you are so fucking grateful and you are doing everything in your power to live a life that you love and that you are proud of and that you're obsessed with. Because again, there's women that would die and literally die every single day and do not have these opportunities. And for me, that is truly such a driver for me. So I've been trying to find the balance between feeling that way, because that truly is how I feel, but then also being okay with not having that headspace of trying to do better, work 24/7, constantly growing, constantly getting better, constantly trying to do better than I did yesterday. I'm trying to find a balance. On the weekend, Dan and I went for a 10-kilometer walk, and that took us 2 hours. And I said to him while we're walking, I was like, it's actually so nice to just be walking. I'm not thinking about anything else. The sun was out. All I was thinking about was putting one foot in front of the other. And I was enjoying the sunshine. I was enjoying that I wasn't on my laptop. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't working. I wasn't thinking about all the stuff I had to do around the house or what am I going to make for dinner. I was just walking. And I was like, God, I'm so grateful to just be walking right now. So I think for me, my current focus is, yes, be grateful in the way where it's you take the opportunities available to you and you do something with that, and you don't just take the opportunities in life I have available for granted, but also being okay with just going for a walk and having a second. I want to find a more in between, or at least go from A to B more often, because I can find myself often only in well, you have these opportunities, so you need to be doing something with that. People would die to have these opportunities. You need to work harder, because yes, that's true, but I also am I'm allowed to just be grateful to be on a walk and not be thinking about anything. So that's a focus. Again, goes hand in hand with trying to have a bit more of a hobby and switch off from my phone, from business, from work, because again, it's when you love what you do. People always say oh, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. That's not true. I work every single day. I'm very aware that I'm working. It feels like I'm working, but I love the work that I'm doing. So when you love the work that you do want to just keep doing it. But again, that does take away from other areas of my life. So I'm trying to have a bit more balance. Basically, like everyone says, just trying to have a bit more work-life balance, but also not, this might be controversial to say, but I think a lot of people probably use the phrase work-life balance. I don't want to say to be lazy, but I think a lot of people probably do that and as a bit of a cop-out to not try their hardest. Because something I've always said, and other people have started saying this, and I'm no, I've been saying this since the beginning of time, that the phrase or the label of try hard to somebody has always been thrown around as an insult. And I have said this for years, but call me a tryhard. I am a tryhard. I am trying incredibly hard to create the life that I have always wanted for myself. I'm trying incredibly hard to build a successful business. I'm trying incredibly hard to build a life that is going to allow me to have so much freedom with my future children. I am trying so incredibly hard. I do not think being called a tryhard is an insult. Yes, call me a tryhard. I am a tryhard. And I think a lot of people use work-life balance as maybe a cop-out to not try hard. And again, it really comes down to your values at the end of the day. I'm not sitting here trying to shame anyone that doesn't try hard in whatever area. It comes down to your values. Everyone has different values. If you don't know what your core values are, you should do a little online quiz. Help me discover what my core values are. Because for me, one of my core values is my career, business, success. That is something that I really value. So I don't want to not prioritize those things. Anyway, I feel like I'm kind of going down a bit of a spiral with that one. So we're gonna cut that one off there. What else do I have on my list? Also, if you're watching the video, did you notice I'm wearing a slick back? I feel weird about it. What episode is this? I think episode 7. First time I've worn my hair up for an episode. Feels kind of crazy. Don't know how I'm going to feel about it when I watch the video back. I might look like an egg, but my hair was greasy and I had PT this morning, so I wasn't going to wash it. I was like, you know what? We're going slick back, and if you never see me in a slick back again, it's because I hated it. Okay. I think I have two more things on my list. First up is 20K steps a day, 20,000 steps a day. I just touched on this before. I said, right now I'm doing 20,000 steps a day. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen by the time you're listening to this, it's pretty much a month ago exactly. I posted that I wanted to see how long it would take me to walk 20,000 steps in one go on my walking pad. I literally just woke up one morning and I was like, how long would that take me? Like if I just walk on my walking pad while I'm working, how long would that take me? And I posted on my Instagram story, I did a little quiz like, oh, how long do you think it'll take me? And it ended up taking me between 2 and 3 hours. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was a little bit over 3 hours. And I remember being like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like 20,000 steps is a lot of steps. And 3 hours, although yes, it's a long time, when I look at my day, it's not a long time. Like I am working for minimum, I would say 10, if I'm being really if I'm lying, let's say 8 hours. I'm definitely working more than that, but let's pretend I'm working 8 hours a day. That's less than half of my work day. I love working while I'm walking on my walking pad at my standing desk. I love it. Like I'm so much more productive. I get through so much. I love the feeling of getting through my work, but also doing my steps. Like I love the multitasking of it all. So I was like, I could easily do this every single day. And I just kind of decided in that moment, I was like, I'm just going to start doing 20,000 steps. Now, would I recommend doing 20,000 steps a day if you're someone who currently does 3,000 steps a day? Probably fucking not, obviously. But I was already averaging between 10 and 15,000 steps every single day. And that was, I don't want to say without trying, like I was intentionally going for a walk and doing some work on my walking pad every single day. But I was like, I kind of feel like a little bit of a challenge. Let's do 20,000 steps a day. Now, I don't know. No, that's a lie. I do know. I'm going to do 20,000 steps a day every day until I get married in December. And I guess you could call this is my version of a wedge shred. I'm not changing anything with my food. I'm not doing like 12 gym sessions a week. I'm just increasing my steps to 20,000 per day until I get married, which is in like 3 months' time, which is kind of scary because I've done nothing. You know that episode I did a few episodes ago about planning a wedding for under $10,000? Have not done a single thing since then. I thought I was organized and now I'm like, actually, you've done nothing for the last 3 weeks because I've been too busy with my new hobby. So anyway, I need to get back on my wedding planning shit, but also I'm going to do my 20,000 steps every single day until I get married in December. And that's my version of a wedge shred for anyone who's like, are you doing a wedge shred? I did speak about that in that episode. I'm not changing anything with my food. I'm not going to start going to the gym 800 times a week, but I am going to do 20,000 steps a day because it's a little bit of a challenge compared to what I was doing. Again, averaging that 10 to 15,000, but it's not going from 2,000 steps a day to 20,000 steps a day because that would just be unrealistic. And I've been doing it for almost a month now. And truly, there's been maybe 2 days in the last month where it's felt like an effort because I just have a routine. I wake up, I get straight on my walking pad. I do all my like morning work, which is very admin heavy where I'm replying to emails, replying to clients, all of that type of stuff. I walk on my walking pad while I do that. When I have calls, which I have at least one call/meeting every single day, I'm on my walking pad. So honestly, love it. We take Leo for a walk, get my steps in. That contributes. On the weekend, I always try to do like one big walk. I usually do it by myself. And that's, anywhere from say like 10 to 15 Ks. And that gets me a good amount of my steps for the day. So I've really enjoyed it. There's literally only been 2 days where it's felt hard and felt like an effort. And one of those days was the Sunday just passed. And I said to Dan, I was like, can you come on a walk with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. And we went on a 10K walk, like I mentioned before, and it was beautiful and sunny. And then we went to Costco after, got so many steps done at Costco. Great life hack. Go to Costco to get your steps in. And then I rewarded myself with a Costco slice of pizza because balance. But that's my current thing, 20,000 steps a day until I get married in December. Stay tuned. I'm very determined. I'll touch on this quickly because I don't want to go on too much because I said I've only got 2 more things left. But something I will say is catch yourself where you say things like, oh, I hope I can stick to 20K steps every single day until my wedding, or I hope I can stick to my calories every single day this week. I hope, or I'm going to try. Like that language is the language of somebody who probably isn't going to stick to it. And that's okay. But I always say to my clients when they're like, oh, I really hope I can, stick to my calories this week. I always call them out and be like, no. We're not hoping. We're doing it. And not in like a tough love, aggressive coach type of way, but in a way of like, remember, you have complete control over your choices. You have complete power over your life. So you don't need to hope that you can do it. You just get to choose to do it. And obviously I know it's so much easier said than done. But even for myself, like I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I hope I can do my 20,000 steps every day. I am going to do my 20,000 steps a day. I know I can do my 20,000 steps a day because I am the one who is in control of that. And obviously this mindset I have now is not the mindset I had at the beginning of my journey or even 2 years ago. Because when you have told yourself, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to, start going to the gym X times per week, and you don't do it, you don't have any self-trust. You don't believe anything you tell yourself because you have no reason to, because every time you tell yourself you're going to do something, you don't follow through. So this mindset, it takes time to get to, but a great way to start is catch yourself when you say things like, I hope I can stick to my calories this week, or I hope I can get to the gym 3 times this week. I hope I can drink more water this week. No more hoping. No more hoping and no more, I'm going to try. I'm going to try do my calories. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try. No, we're not hoping and we're not trying. We're doing. So just say, I'm going to stick to my calories every single day this week. That tiny shift actually makes such a big difference. So that's my little side tangent. And the last thing I wanted to speak about in today's episode is the most random thing of all. And it is that the last 3 nights for dinner, I've had bacon and eggs. 2 pieces of toast, usually a couple pieces of bacon, 2 to 3 eggs. We sometimes just need a little reminder that you can just like chill out, take a break. Again, I've been busy lately. My 8-week challenge started this week, and that is always like my busiest time. I have generally about 5 challenges that I run throughout the year. The first week of each challenge is like my busiest week. So when I know, okay, work's going to be extra busy, instead of like planning these dinners that is going to take me even like 20 minutes to make, I'm like, no, I'm going to make bacon eggs. That's going to take me not even 10 minutes to make. It's delicious. It's nutritious. It's high protein. Is it the highest in micronutrients? No, but guess what? I get that in my other meals, so it's all good. And my snack plate. So I enjoy my 2 pieces of toast, my bacon, my eggs. And I think and I'm in a deficit. My goal right now is to lose weight. And I think we can be so conditioned to think, well, I want to lose weight, so I need to eat a really like clean, well-balanced meal. And like, yeah, we need to eat those meals also, but not every single meal needs to be perfect. You can have meals that look like bacon and eggs for dinner, and you're going to feel full. You're going to feel satisfied. It's relatively low calories. Like my bacon eggs I've been having is like 550 calories for dinner. So good, so delicious, so quick to make. And I think this is just a little reminder to like take the pressure off yourself. Sometimes not every single meal needs to have 10 ingredients and be super well balanced and super this and super that. Like, it's okay. It is all good to have bacon and eggs for dinner. And also there's no rules. You can eat breakfast foods for dinner and you can eat dinner foods for breakfast if you want. I went through a season where I ate curry for breakfast because I had the egg ick, I had the oat ick, I had the toast ick, I had the ick on every single breakfast food that existed. And there's not that many breakfast foods. We're pretty limited. So if you want to eat curry for breakfast or tacos for breakfast or a salad for breakfast, you do you, boo. You do you. I'm in my breakfast for dinner era right now, but that doesn't mean I won't go back to my dinner for breakfast era. That could come around very soon. So that is my little yap. God, I feel good. I feel like I've just sat down with my girls and just like given you everything that's in my brain. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you haven't mind looking at my really short, stubby nails. They need some time to grow out, that's for sure. They've been hidden under my fake nails for a very long time. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you made it to the end of what is maybe the most random episode that you could ever imagine, please send me a DM on Instagram. Rate the podcast 5 stars. I see you guys rating the podcast. I check it every single day. Like, I get excited every time there's a new one. I'm like, someone else rated it. Unfortunately, I can't see who rates it 5 stars. But if you've rated it 5 stars, just know, energetically, I know. Also, you can send me a DM and say, hey, Charles, love the podcast. I rated you 5 stars, because then I'll know you're a real one. Rate the podcast 5 stars. Be sure to follow. There's a little bell that you can click on Spotify, and that'll give you a notification every Monday morning when I post a new episode. So do all those things. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you listening to me yap. And I'll speak to you all in the next episode. Bye, my loves.